to follow what I follow. She says, well, it seems to work. It does work. I just mentioned, put the Chucky in the corner, and he starts to panic because he thought I was going to phone his mother and tell him she's done something bad. So you can see that, and if she says to him, if you don't do this, I'll put you in the corner, khalas, he'll do it. So it works for her. It would never work for me. So here, what's important is that you understand each other, and you can complement each other without contradicting. And even if you don't agree, you can find a common way to support each other. But as soon as you start to undermine, it's over. You can no longer work as a team. And what he was saying was that if both parents are scary, you don't have that power. And if neither of the parents are scary, you have no power. What needs to be done is one person does need to have, if one person is naturally got one style, the other one should not follow the same style. So it's not a problem to be on the different paths. And you just need to work this out between parents on all the issues. And it really takes a lot of time, and it takes strong communication, and it needs the ability to keep the kids out of the problem. And I know what the consequences are of not communicating. Because as I said, I was married and it didn't work, and then I married again. Alhamdulillah, I'm very happy. But one of the things that I look back at is where one parent undermines the other. And Sarah's right, I'm pretty stupid. And that's why I say I love you, meaning, yeah, I accept I'm stupid, but please forgive me. Because I didn't realise that we actually needed to communicate better and be on the same page. Because we'd agreed that we'd never talk to the kids about our differences. So I never talked to the kids about our differences. But unfortunately, there was not consistency in that. And where the two are not on the same page, ultimately they will break. And that's what happened with me, is that we went down different paths because we didn't communicate, and we could have solved it if we talked and had consistency, even if we were differing. But you have to work it out between and not drag the kids in, because if the kids get involved, then they can exploit the situation. Every time you make a mistake, the kids will pick it up. They'll see that, here's a gap I can exploit between father and mother. And that's why if I'd undermined Sarah by saying, it's okay, you come to me. When she puts him in the corner, I pick him up. Daddy, daddy, daddy. If I picked him up, khalas, that's the end of the relationship with the mum. And likewise over all of those other things, if we can't work out little things like, should he go to the mosque or should he stay home and do his homework? The child doesn't need to be part of this discussion. It needs to be the parents need to work it out between them and sometimes agree to differ and try and find a compromise. And inshallah, it can happen, and it will, inshallah. Are there any other ones that are burning among this list? How to forget old problems. You know, one of the things that I do and what I've learned is there's one of the tariqas, the spiritual paths, is called the Chisti tariqa. Please stop me tell me when I'm going to watch. The Chisti tariqa, and what they do is that they teach a different interpretation of the meaning of La ilaha illallah. And you've probably seen some of these Sufis, La ilaha illallah, and the heads are like going backwards and forwards, and it's all kind of Sufi. But actually there's a wisdom behind that, and I actually found there's some benefit. And what they do, what they teach their students, is that they focus on the heart. And they look at their heart and they say that heart should be empty. There should be nothing in there except Allah. They should say La, which means no. Ilah, which means other than God. There should be no other than God except God. La ilah. It's not good English, is it? You know what I mean. And you see when they turn their head, like the La ilah, La ilah. They're trying to get it out. La ilah, La ilah, La ilah, ilah. Of course, that's not enough, is it? Because that's actually kufr to say la ilaha without saying illallah. So they don't. Ilah. Illallah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. And if you see them doing it kind of pace, they look really la ilaha illallah. And even they get to Allah, 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 Allah. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but actually, La ilaha illallah does really, really help if you know what it means. And I remember a friend of mine, he said he had real anger issues, and he did. And as a bouncer, it's not a good job to have anger issues. He used to be paid to beat people up, and he has anger issues. And he's a black belt. And he came to me, he says, I need to sort out my anger issues. And I says, haven't I been telling you that for the last 10 years? He says, yeah, I know, but now it's kind of affecting my life. Before I just used to go to work and beat people up, and it used to be good. But now I want to beat everybody else up, including my mother, and my sister, and my uncle, and sometimes my wife. And I says, yeah, you got anger issues, pal. And what did I teach him? Was you need to say La ilaha illallah. Whatever it is that's in your heart, you need to get rid of it. And what I do is sometimes say La ilaha illallah. It ain't that big deal. La ilaha illallah. And actually to focus on just repeating and repeating La ilaha illallah. It ain't that big a deal. Allah is much more important than any of this. Take Allah out of your, take everything out of your heart except Allah. And one of the ways to forget problems is just to drown yourself in La ilaha illallah. So that you really understand there is nothing except Allah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Whatever it was. You know that idiot at work? La ilaha illallah. She ain't important. Why is she even in my heart? Why is she upsetting me? She's got her own problems, let her burn in hell. La ilaha illallah. Allah's all that matters. The next time I see her, hi. So you think you're my boss? I'll treat you as my boss. Bye. And she don't mean anything to me. She doesn't upset me anymore. She's not there anymore. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. You say that a few times and you forgot what upset you. And sometimes I'd say to Sarah, I'm angry. And she'll just laugh. She'll say, oh, why are you angry? And then I'll start to think, I can't really remember. And she says, good. That's how I like it. She says, okay, you carry on being angry. Because I actually can't remember why I was angry. Why? La ilaha illallah. La ilaha. Maybe I look a bit crazy. But after a few of those, what was I angry with her about? The only way I'm going to think about it is to go back. Forget La ilaha illallah. What did she do to me? Why was I angry? What was it that upset me? But if you can get it out of you, and that's the important thing, is just say La ilaha illallah. Just try and get the rubbish out of your heart, and it'll be fine. You need to focus. And the interesting thing about my bouncer friend, he's got another job now. And he tells me he doesn't have anger issues anymore. Why? Because every time he gets angry, he goes off and he just does La ilaha illallah, and then if he still hasn't worked, he goes down to the gym and he beats the hell out of a punch bag, and then he comes back and it's completely gone. And he says he does no anger issues. I spoke to his wife and she says, it's absolutely perfect. Everything in our marriage now is fine. I was thinking, that wasn't much to teach him. Didn't you know La ilaha illallah before that? So, inshallah, that's one of the things. How long do you have? Forgiving and forgetting, accepting the wife with his or her weaknesses. That's a really important thing. Accepting the wife with his or her weaknesses. One of the most important things in life, seeing as we're going down the Sufi path, and I've just been talking about the Chistis and all of this, let me talk about Sayyidina Abdul Qadir al-Jailani. Sayyidina Abdul Qadir al-Jailani, I think I talked to one of the sisters yesterday, I don't know how I got to talk about this, but in his book Futuh al-Ghayb, the last discourse, it's a set of like 70 discourses, and the last one, he talks about what the tariqah is. What is all of this Qadri stuff about? What does it actually mean to be a Qadri, to follow Sayyidina Abdul Qadir al-Jailani? He says it's humility. He says this path is humility. What does humility mean? He then explains. It's whenever you meet somebody, you think that person, you know in your heart that that person is better than you are. When you have that feeling that you can only see good in the other person, then you know the tariqah. What does that mean? If the person prays, then you think, well, he prays. He must be good. And if he doesn't pray, then you think, the reason he doesn't pray is because he doesn't know. I know. He doesn't. So he's better than me. That person's not Muslim. Well, what's that? Why is that a big deal? Allah might put hidayah in his heart and take it out of mine. So he's better than me. And when you get to that point where you can see the good in other people, then you understand what Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jailani was teaching us. Humility. That's what this is all about. So how does that work in relationships generally? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Hoslatani, there's two qualities. La fawqahuma shay. There's nothing above which. Husni dhan billah wa husni dhan bil ibad. Thinking highly of Allah and thinking highly of His slaves. So whenever you meet somebody, always think the best you possibly can about them. And if you can't find anything outwardly good, then imagine something that must be good in them. And that's really helped me. People ask, how come most of your friends are crazy? I'm thinking, that's a good point. Why are most of my friends crazy? Does that say something about me? Or they say, how come most of the people that became Muslim through you used to take drugs? I'm thinking, maybe that says something about me. But one of the reasons is because whoever comes into my life, I don't really have a problem. One of the things, I don't have a difficulty looking at them and seeing the good in them. And that's possibly why marriage is easy. Because if you look at your wife or your husband and just see good, then you do overlook the bad things. Right, one last thing related to that. You know this famous hadith, which I need to throw in because this is talk about marriage and you have to throw in controversial hadith. And I haven't thrown many in. This one about the rib. Everyone knows this hadith about the rib. Yeah, can somebody just recap because I've forgotten it. So I know it's about women. Women are like...
Woman was born from the rib of Adam.
Okay. And? There's the next bit that's like the This is what you call a setup, yes.
I don't remember this.
Oh, checking it out. Okay, one of the other brothers. And if you try to straighten it, it will break. Is that right? Yeah, Amir is laughing because he knows it's correct. And if you try to straighten it, it will break. What does that mean? Mean women are bent, you can never sort them out? That's what you try. Yeah, that's what it means. It don't mean that. It means that Adam's rib came from here and it curved, it bends, it leans towards his heart. It's like this. That means it leans. A woman naturally leans, naturally inclines, will naturally try to accommodate, and it will always point towards your heart. That's the natural case of a woman. But if you reject that and you try to straighten it, it'll break. Because what you're doing is you're going against the nature of a woman. And the nature of a woman is not that she's bent and crooked, but actually that naturally a woman inclines towards love. Most women have tremendous love, and they have tremendous capacity to love, and can incline towards Adam, towards the natural relationship between a husband and wife. And if they didn't, it would be pretty difficult for us. Because sometimes when we come home from work and we've got a witch of a boss like I used to have, before we destroyed her, and you come home, and you're in a bad mood, and you're unhappy, and then you expect her to make sajda to you? Because that's the other hadith the men throw out to the women. You're supposed to make sajda to the husband, but that's another story. They actually, if you realize that she'll be there, naturally to actually welcome you home, to mend your heart, to be kind, to incline towards you, if you recognize that, you'll find real love. And if you encourage that, you'll find real love. And if you try to change every little thing about her, you've finished her. So if you focus on the little stuff, I really don't like red lipstick. I just don't like red lipstick. It scares me. Maybe I have one of those experiences with clowns as a child, but red lipstick, I do not find red lipstick attractive. Sarah loves red lipstick. And sometimes I'll come home and I'm really angry, I'm really tired, and I come home and she's got red lipstick on. So what should I do? Take off that damn red lipstick! If you did that, what will happen?
She's Sarah as well,
Oh, sorry, Sarah. Oh, I forgot Sarah. If I were to do that, what would happen? Sarah would probably hit me. Anybody that knows Sarah, you know what would happen? I would be mincemeat. But if I looked at the big picture,